Hello, welcome once again to Lehto's Law. I'm Steve Lehto. Today we're talking about the word Nazis. The word police are back. Whenever I mention the phrase auto accident or car accident, I get at least one person who says, Steve, you can't call it an accident. Calling it an accident implies that somehow it couldn't be helped, and therefore you're downplaying what's actually happening when cars collide. And then they say you should use a word like collision or a car strike each other. I don't know what else you're going to use because accident's the correct term. And it's kind of funny to me because what's strange about this is that people who are correcting others when they're using the correct language, besides that, here they're actually correcting it away from the actual meaning of the word and trying to insert more passive language in, which is something that I admit lawyers do when they're in court. But that doesn't mean that the word accident is the incorrect term to use when two cars hit each other. Okay, I'm not talking about bumper cars. Okay, I'm talking about when you're driving down the road, someone runs a red light and hits you. And that's a car accident. Okay, and to say no, 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 that's a car collision. That's not a car accident. That's just stupid. I mean, I don't know what else to call it besides that. And so here's what I'll tell you. I've mentioned before, I taught trial practice for a long period of time. And the book behind me, Trial Techniques, is considered to be the Bible of trial practice. And one of the things that they will tell you, and by the way, if you're not an attorney, you might find this amusing that we actually teach this, but one of the things that they'll tell you in a trial practice class is that the labels you put on something as you describe it over and over again to the jury and to the court will make a difference in how people perceive these things. And so I'll tell you right now, if I want the jury to like somebody, I will refer to them by their first name throughout the trial. I'll say, well, when Bob did this and Bob did that and Bob did this and Bob did that. And if there's somebody I want the jury to not like, I'll actually say Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson. And it's such a minor thing. But the idea that I'm addressing one person by their first name, which sounds friendlier, and someone else as a Mr., actually does create a slight thing in not all people's minds. It won't work on everybody, but it's something that'll kind of help push something a little bit in the direction of getting people to like somebody. And so one of the things that they discuss in trial techniques and in other trial practice classes is that the words you use to describe something, if you do it often enough, you can actually change how people perceive what you're telling them. So if I wanted to downplay a car accident, I would refer to it as a collision. And I might say that that's the moment when the car struck the tree, as opposed to that's the moment that my drunk driver went off the road and slammed his car into a tree. And so the idea that you don't use the word accident, but you want to use the word collision because you think accident somehow implies that it was unavoidable, that's just not true. That's not even the definition of accident. And so, I know right now, there are people going, Steve, what are you talking about? You have no idea. The number of times I've had people tell me, they say, Steve, you are misusing the term accident. When two cars hit each other, it's not an accident, it's a collision. It's just stupid. So I went on the internet today to a variety of dictionaries to get the definition of what an accident is. And yes, I'm using air quotes to indicate the word accident or accidents, plural. So, for instance, an accident is an unforeseen incident that happens unexpectedly and unintentionally, typically resulting in damage or injury. Well, could that be two cars hitting each other? An unfortunate incident that happens unexpectedly and unintentionally, typically resulting in damage or injury. Yes, that sounds like an accident to me. How about this? An event that happens by chance or that is without apparent or deliberate cause. Okay, so in other words, if I take my car and ram you with it on purpose, or ram your car with my car on purpose, that's not an accident. I'll admit that. That would be an intentional collision or something, but that would not be an accident. But the point is, no one's claiming that the person who ran the red light and hit your car did it on purpose. Okay, if they did it on purpose, that's a whole different game. Okay, but if they hit your car by accident, we can call it an accident. I went to a business law dictionary. In general, an unplanned, unexpected, and undesigned event which occurs suddenly and causes injury or loss, a decrease in value of the resources, or an increase in liabilities. Well, again, an unplanned, unexpected, and undesigned, or not purposefully, event which occurs suddenly and causes injury or loss. Again, it sounds like two cars hitting each other to me. That's an accident. An event not intended by anyone, but which has the result of injuring someone or damaging something. And that dictionary gave as an example, he was killed in an automobile accident at the age of 21. Hey, they're using the word accident wrong there. I thought accident only means something that cannot be avoided. Oh, sorry. I just shifted into the voice that I imagine when I read these emails and comments. Here's another definition. Something that happens unexpectedly and unintentionally. And that one does not involve necessarily the connotation of harm or damage. And the example they give is, it's no accident that she was chosen to be a member of the most powerful committee in Congress. Okay, so. Others, the definition of an accident is an event that happens without being planned. And again, this example they give is, an example of an accident is a collision between two cars. A collision between two cars is, in fact, an accident. The funniest thing, I mentioned before that there's a few different ways that I don't like seeing things phrased on the internet. One of them is, what part of this don't you understand? Another one is when people say, I can't believe you didn't know about this, and they mention something that I know all about. And this is one also where people go, oh, Steve, words have meaning, and you misused the word accident. Words have meaning. Wait, words have meaning? Words? You mean like the stuff that you're using to communicate an idea to me, those have meaning? And when I'm speaking, words have meaning? Wow, what a novel concept. Hold on, stop everything. Words have meaning. I wonder what the word means. I wonder what the word means. Hold on. So I could get stuck on this just going in circles here, chasing my tail, looking for definitions of definitions. Words have meaning. Well, you know what's interesting about words having meaning? You can look the meanings up in the dictionary and you'll see that I'm right. But number two, here's a question for you. Since this show is called Lehto's Law, and I've told you before that I'm a lawyer, and I practice law now for 27 years in the state of Michigan. It'll be 28 this year. And I've taught law school for 10 years. Maybe we should look to see what the courts say about the word accident, because this is the context of this show. I'm talking about the law here, the law in Michigan. So what do courts have to say about the word accident? I'm reading directly to you from a Michigan Supreme Court citation, or an opinion. Other courts have also recognized that an inference of negligence may be drawn from a driver's flight from the scene of an accident. It doesn't say scene of a collision. Don't they know that words have meanings? The Supreme Court, what part of accident do you not understand, Supreme Court? And just so you know, I thought I printed the page out. I actually found a page that listed all the other states that were cited for that particular prospect, or and the ones that said if you flee the scene of an accident, it gives you a presumption, because they all apparently refer to cars hitting each other unexpectedly or unintentionally as accidents. Section 617 of the Michigan Vehicle Code, which is found at MCL 257, requires the driver to stop and to fulfill the requirements of Section 619. And this is the quote: the driver of any vehicle who knows or has reason to believe that he has been involved in an accident upon either public or private property, when such property is open to travel by the public, resulting in injury or the death of any person, shall immediately stop such vehicle at the scene of such accident and shall remain thereat. Hey, there's a cool word, thereat. Shall remain thereat until he has fulfilled the requirements of Section 619. Every such stop shall be made without obstructing traffic more than is necessary. But again, you'll notice that the Michigan legislature, when passing a statute describing what you do in traffic when your car has struck another car, that you should stay at the scene of the accident because you have been involved in an accident. And like I said, the Michigan Supreme Court likewise embraces the definition of accident to mean when two cars have struck each other or a car has struck something else and it wasn't intentional, that they refer to that as a traffic accident. So, for those of you out there who believe that words have meaning, and you worry about the meaning of the word accident, it is in fact proper to refer to two cars striking each other. So long as it's not done intentionally, it would be an accident. So if you go to the demolition derby and there's guys ramming cars into each other, no accident. If you go to the amusement park and get in a bumper car and the bumper cars are hitting each other, no accident. You're driving down Main Street and somebody runs a red light and plows into the side of your car, and you get out of your car and you look at it, my friend, you've just been in an accident. So the idea that words have meanings, yes, they do. And I usually use them correctly. And by now, I hope you learn to not argue about the meanings of words on the internet. But then again, I guess arguing about anything on the internet's a fool's errand. So we'll see how far this gets me. Questions or comments, put them below. Otherwise, talk to you later. Bye-bye.